I've seen a lot of people been talking about this. Everybody know my favorite artist in the world, Vybz Kartel. He is currently going through a very interesting process. So let me give you a little bit of recap. Right? Vybz Kartel, I've always said Vybz Kartel is an enigma. I've always said he's the greatest musician and the realest musician ever. Let me tell you who he is all in one. Vybz Kartel is Eminem lyrically in dancehall. He's Eminem lyrically. He's Jay-Z in terms of stature and respect and even bringing on new artists. He's King Von in terms of fear and being about exactly what he's talking about, right? He's Drake in terms of versatility, right? And also being commercial. He's everybody. Like this guy is kind of like it's if you know dancehall and you know everything I'm saying is true. Like you can't find a more lyrical nigga than him. You can't find a better songmaker than him. You can't find a guy who allegedly did everything that he says he did, like on a gangster level in real life. So I'm gonna give you a real quick recap on Vybz Kartel. You know, got a couple pseudonyms. One is the World Boss. You feel me? So Vybz Kartel. If you know anything about Jamaica, Jamaica is a country that is, you know, I hate to call it this because this is a country that I was born in, but it's a poor country. You know what I mean? And in certain facets, I'm not saying rich people don't live there. I'm just saying there's a lot of places where people are impoverished and meets way below the poverty line of even what happens in the United States. So in Jamaica, crime is very different. Like that's why in Jamaica you'll see what they call dons, right? And there's certain facets and certain groups where anytime somebody get a lot of resources, whether you got it from, you know, any type of way, if you got it from drugs, that person usually becomes super respected because it's kind of like the Robin Hood thing. You start giving back to the people love you because the government don't give them that. But then the government start looking at you saying, how the hell you get this money? And damn, they start realizing that people abuse the type of power because, you know, if you ever heard about Christopher Dunner's Coke, they'll start killing people too. You know what I mean? Like people get power hungry in this and third. Okay, Vybz Kartel is one of the artists that the Jamaican government felt turned into a don. And a don would be like a cartel boss, a cartel leader, right? And it's ironic because his name is Vybz Kartel. But he linked up with other gangsters in the community, you know, him and the Klansman or whatever the case is, and that's like a whole like, you know, group of just straight killers. And they believe that Vybz Kartel was not only a great musician, as I described, but that he was getting people killed. And they actually believe that he was putting hits out on people. And notoriously, the police in Jamaica actually said they believe he was responsible for over 100 murders. Now, obviously, it becomes one of those things that what we're seeing with Young Thug, where it's like they don't believe he killed 100 people. They believe he ordered the murder of 100 people because he had this big, crazy gang with him that was down to carry out hits, right? By the way, they also got indicted and they like shit. That's a whole different story. But if you read some of the gruesome details, like they were killing people everywhere. Like they were killing people in church. They go like he used to have certain lyrics to talk about how they would go and kill people, and you would see murders pop up just like that. So again, he's been like a very interesting figure. And you know, I'm kind of using a lot of references here because I don't know how familiar you guys are with dancehall or him but I'm trying to make you understand. If you ever watch Narcos and if you're familiar with Pablo Escobar, remember Pablo Escobar, he's a drug kingpin, right? And then he gets so popular, he actually runs for office. He actually runs as the secondary for a public office, and he wins, right? Like the fucking drug nigga won like a political thing because he's that popular. Vybz Kartel in Jamaican culture got so big that essentially his influence became tantamount to what the actual government was, right? So like if he said something or if he did something, it would either encourage or discourage mass whatever. And that's an incredible power to have. It's kind of like how when they say what Tate has a little bit, except with this also involves a lot of violence. Okay, so cool. Now, what ends up happening, September 30th, I remember the date like it's yesterday, September 30th, 2011, he gets arrested for murder. He actually gets charged for 2 murders, okay? It is alleged that he killed a guy that was one of his shooters. Like, so these guys are like his goons, but he killed one of his goons because in Jamaica, the guns ain't legal like it is over the United States, right? You know, so like it's all smuggled guns and stolen guns. So like, you know, what happens is, you know, and by the way, I don't know if you guys, I feel like I'm giving probably too much information, but I hope you guys are like keeping up with this. Yes, he was only charged with 2 murders, but no, he was charged in 2 different murder cases. The other murder case was a double homicide, so it was 3 bodies, right? He allegedly killed the guy because he gave the guy a gun and the guy lost the gun and didn't return it. And then, you know, he was trying to get it back and the guy was playing games and he was basically saying, yo, this guy don't respect me. And if you go back to go back to Pablo Escobar, any type of like cartel leader, you can't have people think you pussy. You can't have them thinking you're not the boss you actually are. So actually what ends up happening is that Vybz Kartel himself participates in the murder of his own goon. Remember they said he ordered 100 murders, but he participated in his murder of his own goon. And this story is so wild, right? They summoned the 2 dudes. It was 2 dudes. They summoned the 2 dudes to a house, like one of his mansions, right? And he has the rest of his goons there. And he basically says this, and by the way, this is one of the reasons he's locked up. He used to record a lot of this stuff. Like his goons would send him pictures of dead bodies. It was kind of really cryptic. Like, you would never believe this thing is like the fucking superstar. They would send him pictures of people who died and their eyes shot out and all that shit. Like, you could tell they were kind of enjoying the murder aspect of whatever the fuck they were doing a bit. Allegedly, by the way, free world bosses. I mean, I just got to give the factual stuff. So what happened was, he's even, right before the murder, he was even filming. And he was saying, yo, hold him down and we're going to cut his fucking throat. You get what I mean? What happens is they kill the guy allegedly. And then the other guy realizing he was going to get killed next. Remember they summoned 2 guys? He ran. They go get the guy. They capture the guy. And they told the guy, we're not going to kill you. Chill. We're not going to kill you. And you could tell this is like some like movie Don-esque type of shit because they didn't kill the second guy because they wanted to send a message, right? If you kill both of them, nobody really knows what happened. If you kill the first guy and the other nigga says, what the fuck? Vybz Kartel just killed my friend. No, we can't fuck around with this guy no more. Anyway, that guy ended up working with the government to take down Vybz Kartel. He cooperated, right? Not only that, when they were chasing the guy down, Vybz Kartel gets bit on his foot by his own dog. I was watching that trial like it was going nonstop. That was such a great trial. He gets bit by his own dog while chasing the guy down. And yeah, okay, cool. So that's why he got locked up. And then he got locked up for another murder, but the other double murder he beat, right? He beat the other double murder. Or actually, I think they dropped it. They dropped it or charged somebody else. Okay. Essentially, what then happens is that they go through the longest trial ever in Jamaican history, where there's thousands of people surrounding even the courthouse every day. I'll show you some glances of videos. Kartel shows up at court. Probably got to do trial. Yeah, this is like some of the scene, right? They're screaming, we want Kartel. Yeah, so basically pandemonium. As I said, Vybz Kartel, like, people don't love Drake here like how they love Vybz Kartel in Jamaica. So I got to give you a relative. Like, you know what I mean? They look at him almost like an activist. Okay. All right. Anyway, that's him. All right. They had to get the army there, all that type of shit. Anyway, he gets found guilty after the longest trial in history. Okay? He gets found guilty. Now, because, notoriously, imagine like King Von, like he showed no remorse in court. He showed no remorse in court. All his co-defendants got like 25 years. The judge was so mad that he was just stone cold. They gave him 10 extra years. They gave him 35 years. So they gave him 35 years to life, right? To put it in perspective, Vybz Kartel has been, which this is another aspect that's so fucking crazy. The hottest dancehall artist from 2010, pretty much almost to now, is still Vybz Kartel. He's been locked up for 14 years. Just think about this. The nigga's locked up for 14 years. He drops the most music. He got the most hit songs. He drops the most videos. And even one point, he went live from his jail cell. Chilling. Feel me? Again, he's dropped maybe 1,000 songs since he got locked up. Before they used to say, oh no, he just recorded a lot before he got locked up. Now they realize this nigga got a studio up in that jail, man. You feel me? That nigga got a... somebody says, Nicole says, how? As I said, Vybz Kartel, we're not talking about like you're locked up in Rikers. We're like, oh yeah, maybe you could pay off like one guard. The entire country loves this guy. The entire country listens to this guy. The entire country looks at this guy like a leader. So obviously, as a prisoner, you can't do these things, but he's dropping music every week, right? Like, let's go to his YouTube page. Remember, he's been locked up since 2011. Vybz Kartel. You go to his page. Well, obviously now he's in trial, so they kind of calmed it down a little bit. But 2 months ago, it's a song. He also has kids that's now grown. Like he's like young boy. He got like 10 kids too. Like actually more than 10, like probably like 15, right? So his kids is now grown, so he's putting on his kids. But yeah, month ago, like you just see a bunch of songs, man. Like he's just putting out music like it's going out of style, bro. Like look, every month you're getting like 2-3 songs. Every month, bro. Like he's not stopping. Every month. He's put out like 8 albums. Like, you know what I mean? He's doing his thing, right? Now, here's the thing. They did an appeal, right? And the appeal that they did in Jamaican court was actually declined and denied, right? And this is how the justice system works in Jamaica. Because Jamaica is technically, it actually still reports to the monarch. So when the queen was living, the queen actually has some authority over Jamaica, which means, the British monarch has rule over Jamaica, even though they don't implement it at this point, and they see Jamaica as a sovereign body. So if you've exhausted your options in court in Jamaica, you have one more chance, and it's basically by going to the British government and asking what's called a privy council. Hey, could y'all look at this case and overrule the Jamaican justice system because there was an injustice done, right? And the Privy Council actually took this case, and they're now deciding what they're going to do if they're going to let him out. So it's been actually going on. And let me see, Vybz Kartel appeal. I don't even know if he's in court, but it's been like a live stream. Let me see if I could, I'll see if I can play a little bit so you'll understand it.
Final Court of Appeal will tomorrow, February 14, start a 2-day hearing in the United Kingdom for murder convicts Adidja Vybz Kartel Palmer, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John. The men are asking the court to overturn their 2014 convictions because, among other things, they claim the trial judge should not have admitted the phone evidence and that the jury was
Okay, my bad. Apologize. Okay, so let me give you a little bit more cause of why this is a interesting case and why an appeal is this is. I know y'all might be like, well, if he killed the nigga, like, what the fuck we got to talk about? Well, there's a lot that was used to convict him that becomes what they call circumstantial evidence. Let me give you an example, right? The guy who died, his body was never found. So the nigga who they're saying is dead, nobody ever seen him. You never seen a head, a finger, a toe. He's never been found. Okay? It's basically like you just have to assume he's dead. They've never found the body. Okay? Now, granted, on some of, and by the way, Vybz Kartel's own cell phone sent him to jail because on some of the voice notes he used to send, he was also saying how, yo, we're going to chop him up so fine, they'll never find his body. Like, he's not saying it directly, but once you realize you can't find the nigga who died and a witness said he saw the nigga get killed, you got to imagine, hey, well, the guy said we weren't going to find the body, right? Now, granted, here is the rumors, and this is how, like, Jamaica, it's Jamaica, bro. You feel me? Vybz Kartel, big and powerful. They believe that Vybz Kartel and his people had that dude transferred to a local morgue, and he got cremated, right? Now, by the way, that would be a criminal charge. Like, if this happened in the United States, like, everybody in that fucking morgue is going to jail, right? But it's Jamaica, man. You pay a little thing, man. They burn that nigga they burn him to ashes. You'll never see him. So basically, there is no body. Okay, so you have a murder with no body. Second of all, I'm going to show you some evidence that they took off his own cell phone, which is incriminating. But here what happened. And this is how, like, Jamaican, and no disrespect to Jamaican police, because I know I got to come back there. Do not take it out of me. Jamaica deals with shit like, again, we are a third world country. Like, man, we're not doing this shit like it's fucking, like NYPD. When they confiscated Vybz Kartel phone with all the evidence, while it's in police custody, they kept going in his phone, opening it, making calls. So they compromised the phone. So they have the evidence, which is his phone, with the incriminating evidence. You know what the police go do? While it's in their custody over the span of like a few years, they use the phone all the time, making calls for themselves. They playing on the man's phone. So that came out in a forensic search that showed, wait, how did the phone get confiscated this day? Because y'all locked him up, but y'all access it. Bop, 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 bop. So Kartel's team is saying, hey, all that incriminating shit y'all seen on there, they planted it. You know what I mean? Hey, it works, right? You shouldn't be on the motherfucker's phone. Like, imagine like having the fucking phone and by the way, these are police officers who use the fucking phone. Stupid, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So let me see what else. Third thing that happens, right? When the verdict was being deliberated, it's kind of like the YNW Melly shit. Except one guy, remember, the whole country loves Vybz Kartel. One guy goes up to another juror and says, yo, if you vote not guilty, you got $500,000. That person ends up snitching and tells that, yo, this guy's trying to pay us off. So there, there was like a mole in there finna try to pay the shit off. Then that fucks it up because now the jury process is compromised. The guy who was trying to pay people off, he went to jail. The other person, I don't even know if their vote still count, but whatever the case is, now it's compromised. So these are all things that Vybz Kartel is saying, well, hey, I didn't tell nobody to pay niggas off. The fuck? He probably just want to pay the nigga off because he loved me. Regardless, the jury process is tainted. So y'all fucked with the evidence. Y'all can't find the body. And then the jury is fucking up. Man, let me free. Now, again, he's been waiting 10 years or 14 years, actually, 13 actually today, for this appeal to happen. And they just had a 2-day hearing. So we're going to see what the result of that. But I ain't going to lie to you. Vybz Kartel, y'all the world boss. But man, when you see what was on this guy's cell phone, you're going to be like, yo, this is some sick shit, bro. Hold on, let me see. 'Cause, 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 Right here, right here. So apparently this was them discussing right before they killed the nigga. So this video is taken off. Sorry. Okay, so this is the video from his phone. You're gonna see them grab a pickaxe. They're talking like, this is crazy. They're talking about how they're gonna kill the nigga. Look, you see the pickaxe? So he's telling him, I know you some of y'all can't understand patois. He's saying, you gotta swing that pickaxe. I'm gonna hold him, but don't hit me with it. Make sure you hit him. This is crazy. Now, supposedly, I think the guy might have been like captured or something like that. So they're just discussing how we gonna kill him. I don't know if he was trying to just use his phone as a light, but why the hell are you recording this part? So I'm going to explain what he said. He says, matter of fact, let's use a knife first and stab him in his neck. Yo, as I said, so the other guy says, okay, just hold him down. I'm going to cut his throat. By the way, here's another interesting thing to be acknowledged. At this time, Vybz Kartel is giving speeches like, imagine the equivalent over here would be at Harvard. Like he gave, like there was an infamous speech he did at a huge college out there. It was like speaking at Harvard. He was shooting a reality show as well. It was called Teacher's Pet. He was doing so many things that it was unfathomable that he would be doing all those things. At that time when he's free, he's dropping like 3 songs a week. How the hell are you doing all those things so popular and you still got time to kill people? Like how? Like niggas is like, yo, what? Okay, so what ended up happening here, he also says that because he has artists, he was running the label. It was like the Rockefeller of like, dancehall. He says, because one of his artists ain't a killer like that, he said, wait for him to leave. These are the killers. Everybody in here is the killers. He's like, wait for my artist to leave and then we kill the nigga. Which is like crazy. Anyway, there was some voice notes. There's some voice notes on his phone that was super incriminating. And I'll do the translation for y'all.
Already, from them.
So he's talking to some guy, and basically the guy is making him feel like, yo, he's getting disrespect. Like, yo, people don't respect you, dog. You lent that nigga a gun, and he ain't bring it back? That's kind of, and by the way, so many men have fell because of ego. And you could tell, you're going to hear these voice notes, and he becomes upset, like, damn, he think he could play with me type shit, right? That's going to be the feeling.
Time there, I said, I deal with, because I reason about this one day, Don't tell you a thing is from the thing them get messed up, but I hesitate not even for a second or a minute, You see, I give them 8 o'clock, anytime after 8 and your thing not come in, it doesn't bother.
So basically, this is like one of the gang niggas telling him like, yo, bro, they're playing with you. Your guns are missing. You give them a deadline. If it don't come in by that deadline, any minute after that is violation. That's what the guy's telling him.
I said nothing else for getting blood. It was dash a man there.
So they use a lot of phrases. So it's like dash a man, which means kill him. You got to kill him. Like, nigga, fuck all that. If them niggas is late, kill him. Fuck it. You got to kill him. Okay? You got to show it. You got to prove a point now.
Some joke blood clotting some man depending on. big joke thing, you know. You see me I deal with. That's your man. That's your man, blood.
So you got to remember, these are the gang guys telling me, yo, just kill somebody. So he said, that's your man. Anyway.
Hombre, they don't know what's
This is Vybz Kartel's voice.
blood clot lizard and we. I will call man.
Now, this is what the motive comes in, because the guy who dies, he calls his name. The guy's name is Lizard. So he's kind of explaining why he's upset too.
My phone today and tell me, say, them can't find the two blood clot new shoes them when me give them, dog. So them lock them in our house. Side of all feet to a build up, dog, in a blood clot out.
Okay, so they're using slang for guns, which, by the way, I always love when people use the simplest slangs like police won't figure it out. They're calling guns shoes. So he says, I gave these two guys 2 new shoes, which is 2 new guns. Obviously, you're not supposed to have guns, right? They stashed the guns in a house that's being built that's next to some old people. And I guess they said when they went back for it, the guns ain't there. So Vybz Kartel feels like they're lying and they're playing. You know what I mean?
I select 2 shoes and can't find my bum buckler shoes, Virgin. And I come tell me, fuck your me's, dog. I just tell them, say, make sure I get my shoes by 8 o'clock in a bad man. Laughing like I hear me and get I think I say that me I tell my dog, say, what do you me I hear reason about the said fucking thing. But as I tell you, hombre, the man where them give the blood clot shoes like dog. If 8 o'clock come and I get my shoes, are the same fucking thing, dog. So if them want them friends to live, then better get my blood clot shoes.
So I mean, clear as day, he's saying, yo, if they don't want to die, I better get my guns back.
Yeah, more time I will follow up certain science thing in the dog. When you know, say a girl tell me say she call a woman, and the woman can tell her instantly say, the boy will go country where they move the shoes for sell it, move the shoes them for sell.
There's so much layers to this too. So Vybz Kartel says, like, you know voodoo, like in Haitian culture, it's called obia in Jamaican culture, or science. Like, like they'll go to these like people who are like whatever, and like almost like on some Miss Cleo shit. So he says, I usually don't believe that, but like one of them people who do that told me that nigga did take my shit, and I should. So he's basically going off some voodoo shit right now.
Let me know, dog. And when I made back, I say, where the when I go country, is a portion of man. Is a portion of man forward in the dog. So me even know which man bedging. And I tell the dog, yo, batty boy, them I tell me, say, they can't find 2 of my shoes in the dog. I kill one of them, I give them till 8 o'clock to get one bumbo.
He says it clear. I'm killing one of them. Giving them to 8. I'm killing one. What the fuck?
Clash shoes. As a dead blood clot, man. That,
My man, hear me I say. You know more ask you, what the program with Silver? Because here them thing they know, so me
know that the youth there no problem. Come like yesterday man come live boy, you know. Me even know blood clot him, you know. So make sure I tell the man them say, I want my blood clot shoes by 8 o'clock. And I go fuck up to what them dog. Come with them, you know, say come like you're a prophet dog. You say something to me, say. You know, like up there, so because every little
on a black 5. Oh.
All right, the only relevant part after this is he's going to say, yo, we're going to chop his body up so fine you'll never find. Like, that's the part that, which, by the way, all this was played in court, too.
Thing jump off, you know, where on the hands. So, I don't know.
Real thing, bad man. I'm a real bomb buckler thing, dog. Big woman thing. Yeah, I hear about it, man.
My dad, what the program? Don't hear from yesterday. I'm sure we don't know what there's so many.
Yeah, I do it, man. A mother ass thing, man.
So where Lizard and we them cut. Because I sent a man go look for them yesterday and no man, I said them not see them, you know. The man I say come like and cut them cut, you know.
Yeah, but problem is if them cut, where the man cut go? That's a the rascal question, hombre. Them dead man, them can't cut gun over dog, you're mad. When they even cut chance, come I buy it back. Sign up to this man and tell him, say, hombre, what about me things them and make me get my money to buy back me thing them and only do what I do with whoever. Me just want to get back my thing and you respond to it. So I make sure I tell him that this morning.
AJ, you know, someone just a year a while ago said badness and danger must kick off on the line this morning. And it seems like it come like bad danger.
Tattoo star. How you just see tattoo? A bride of Chucky, man. Oh.
Yes, so Vybz Kartel also was into a lot of demonic shit. He tattooed the bride of Chucky. He tattooed like a bunch of 666 and like a lot of like satanic shit on himself.
Yeah, it's a lizard and the new boy, and him Browns. Two of them years to get dash way. See me?
Okay, so now they're talking about a death. So his homeboy calls him up and says, "Yo, I hear that lizard, which is the guy who died, which he got convicted for, and the other guy get dashwa, which means they got killed."
Yeah, man, I call me and ask me if me here, you know. You see me? And a nigga from Night Town just called me a while ago and say, 2 man get dash way for the ends. So me I said to him, say, me I behave like me don't know who him attack. You see me?
So basically, the guy on the phone says, "Yo, that's what they told me, that them 2 guys died, but I was just acting like I don't know what they talking about."
Yo, tell me exactly what you hear, bad man.
So Vybz Kartel is he excited now because he just allegedly did the murder. He's like, no, tell me exactly what you heard, bro.
And come on, over, go on.
So you know, use that blood clot, you know.
So who them said dash them way?
So he's like, yo, who they say did the killing?
Linky, give me a link this morning. You see me, I say, me, so me dope and me and him there reason. And out of the blues, me just hear the man and say, yo, dash a lizard in me. I say, blood clot. But me, I say, to myself, lizard get dash, I'm not hear from you. So me, I wonder, what I go on to suck up now, I start link back a yard.
So me just who tell you? Who were the first one to tell you? And where him hear it from? Just a while ago that.
Okay, anyway, the important part which I wanted to play kind of got lost, but let me see if I can find that. No, I don't think I can find it. It's all good.
Accused the Vybz
Oh.
Lizard and we I go call my phone today and tell I'm yes dog. Late. 8 o'clock come and me get they say at the boy we go country with dead man that you know. Mama got dead in a bad man. At 6:10 p.m. still on August 14, 2011. Nafi said nothing bad man, but done pre that already. Me just want them go back for my shoes. Them mama. A more voice.
Okay. Anyway, there was one where he's like, yo, we're going to chop him up fine. And again, that's relevant because they can't find the body, bro. Like, how does somebody die? You can't find a body. So people feel like they did a number on the guy who died and they discarded the body. Regardless of all of that, you know, it's still out of the appeal process, and Vybz Kartel's team, they're saying that the case got fucked up, and at the very least, they would want a new trial. But if not that, they feel like the verdict should be overturned, right? I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it will be because I ain't gonna lie. I'm biased, so it's like, yeah, he might have killed a nigga, but damn, bro, his music good, right? It's kind of like one of those because there is some evidence that it happened. It's just that the music is good, bro. Okay. Anyway, all right, cool. Yeah, if you guys are from the Caribbean, if you guys care about this, I'll give you a little bit more update. Apparently, I think the two day hearing is already done, but you won't get a verdict, which is kind of weird. Like, this doesn't happen in the U.S. where you have like a hearing or a trial and you don't get a decision till months later. So apparently, like, it's gonna be like in May they're gonna get a decision for this, even though I think they did all the presentation. Okay. Let me see. Vybz Kartel. I'll play this last thing. This is his lawyer speaking. I think his lawyer was speaking about how the whole thing went. Let me see if I can find it today. Can I find it? Maybe not. Okay. It's all good. All right. I think I did a good job of breaking that shit down. as we speak about lawyers and well, first of all, I'm about to be OCD right now. I feel like I gotta find that shit. Where is that? Vybz Kartel appeal. Vybz Kartel trial. Oh, this was the.
Repeated warnings not to talk to anyone, despite the obvious temptation of doing so in such a high-profile trial. And C, he was entitled to take into account that he could give a further direction that could be given to remedy any prejudice to the accused. Now, I'll come to that direction, if I may, in a moment, but just before he goes back into court, he's entitled to say to himself, it is proper for me to carry on with this trial, because I can ensure that a fair trial will happen, bearing in mind everything that's happened in the case. Thirdly, I emphasise this point. The Court of Appeal, who have a good knowledge of the local circumstances, upheld the way the judge dealt with that. And that you see at E586.
All right. There we go. All right, good. Speaking of lawyers.